Welcome to Premier League Predictions Week 19, where I take on ChatGPT and the Random Football Scoreline Generator to see who's the best at predicting. Even though I had one of my best weeks, ChatGPT still beat me. But can I beat ChatGPT this week? Let's find out. Let's get predicting Week 19. Starting off at Turf Moor, it's Burnley versus Newcastle United. Newcastle. I've done it again. I keep on predicting Newcastle to win and they seem to lose. Lost 1-0 to Manchester United. To be fair to Newcastle, I don't know how Newcastle didn't score. Newcastle had loads of chances, especially in the second half. Newcastle looked determined when they were on those multiple attacks. And there were so many close, near misses against Manchester United. So many. Nick Voltermader, in my opinion, should have done better in some scenarios, in positioning himself in that striker role. I was absolutely giving him all the praise last video on how he gets into great positions, but against Manchester United, he should have made better runs for the crosses into the box. And this time that Newcastle are facing Burnley, Man United are all the way in top 6, while Burnley are in the relegation zone. If Newcastle show that determination, show that firepower up front, if Nick Voltermader can actually make good runs, unlike he did against Man United, we know Nick Voltermader can play really well. Just against Man United, I thought he did diddly squat. But in this game, it should be an easier game. But let's not underestimate Burnley, because Newcastle in the past, away from home, like against Brentford and West Ham, Newcastle lost 3-1. Newcastle do have a terrible away record, and Burnley at home is very good. And also Burnley, Fleming, oh my gosh, that could have been it. Hitting the post like that was crazy drama. How did you not score against Everton? But to be fair, that game probably deserved to be a draw. Both sides had both the same amount of chances basically, and it was a very close game. But to be fair, Burnley, I don't think you've been doing bad recently. The last couple of games you've gotten draws, so I think this is going to be a close game. I'm going 2-1 Newcastle United on the basis that Newcastle just have a better squad. And what I've seen against Man United is enough to say that Newcastle can win against Burnley, even though Newcastle lost. The Random Football Scoreline Generator says 2-0 to Burnley. To be fair, I wouldn't be shocked considering Newcastle has a terrible away record. Over to ChatGPT.
This feels tight and scrappy. Burnley make it uncomfortable, but Newcastle edge it 2-1 with their quality showing late.
After ChatGPT completely agrees with me that Newcastle are going to win, we move over to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and they're facing Bournemouth. Bournemouth, I have been praising you over and over again, saying that you still have a good squad on paper, saying that all your players are good, that you still look threatening in the attack. And I do feel like all those things are true, because you went for a spell of 3 games without losing. You got 3 draws in a row, but it's surrounded by a couple of losses. 3 points in the last 5 games is not good. And when you lose 4-1 to Brentford, which I said Brentford had a significantly worse side on paper than Bournemouth, does not make it look good for me or Bournemouth. Bournemouth losing 4-1 is an embarrassment. Your midfield looked weak, and I don't understand why you were doing so bad against Brentford, because you looked good the 3 previous games and you were due a win. I was really shocked with that scoreline, especially 4-1. To be fair, maybe if Tyler Adams was in that midfield, it will help break down attacks and make the midfield look a bit stronger for Bournemouth. But still, Bournemouth, you still got an amazing attack. I still feel like those 3 draws in a row, you showed class, because you have to remember at the start of the season, Bournemouth was really high up in the table and was doing brilliantly, and I still feel like there is some of that in Bournemouth. But Semenyo, I believe Manchester City has triggered a release clause for Semenyo. A £60 million release clause. I mean, it's great. Bournemouth is going to get £50 million in profit after purchasing Semenyo for £10 million from Bristol City. So you're going to have to really invest that money to replace Semenyo and even buy another player on top of it. And Bournemouth, the way things have been going, I'm being shocked about it, because I still feel like you got amazing manager and still good squad. But you have been doing terribly, really, in terms of results. And what I've seen against Brentford puts the icing on top of the cake for Chelsea winning this. Chelsea are going to win 3-1. I know Chelsea lost 2-1 to Aston Villa, but to begin with, the start of that game, Chelsea looked like they should be 9-0 up. They had so many opportunities, and at home, with home advantage as well, Chelsea. And what I saw against Aston Villa, it feels like you're going to win this 3-1. 4-0 to Bournemouth. That would be crazy for Semedo's last game by the Random Generator.
Chelsea control the game, Bournemouth have a spell, but Chelsea pull away to win 3-1 in a fairly comfortable home performance.
Nottingham Forest at the City Ground versus Everton. David Moyes versus Sean Dyche. In my opinion, this looks like a draw all over. I'm going pretty low scoring. Everton seem to have very low scoring games. 0-0, for example, against Burnley. I got that bang on correct, which I was really impressed about because I don't get many bang on correct predictions. But hopefully I can get this one bang on correct because I am going 1-1. Look, Everton are still missing the usual from AFCON. Iliman Ndiaye, Idrissa Gana Gueye, and Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. Well, Dewsbury-Hall isn't going to AFCON, but he is injured. So I don't think they're going to be able to score many. Nottingham Forest at home are really good, but I still am really impressed with Everton's defence. So that's why I don't think Everton are going to lose away from home. Because their defence, trust me, their defence is really, really good. David Moyes always sets up such a good low block with Everton. They're always so organised. The defenders are amazing. Tawaski has to be one of the best defenders, especially at intercepting balls. Jordan Pickford, he's amazing goalkeeper, and it's going to be tough. This could go either way, so I'm going to go down the middle. 3-1 to Everton. I just cannot see it.
Very even contest, physical midfield battle, and it ends level at 1-1, with neither side doing enough to win it.
Over to the mighty London Stadium. It's West Ham United versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Two teams which I believe only have 2 points in 5 games. That is terrible. Brighton are 11 points above West Ham and 5 places above West Ham. West Ham are deep into the relegation zone in 18th, 5 points away from safety. West Ham against Fulham, I don't think you played bad. Obviously you didn't score and you lost the game, which is never good, and you should do better. But still, it was still a really close game, and it looked like it was going to be 0-0. And you still had chances, and it looked like at any moment you could also make it 1-1. And you made it a close game, you even made it a close game against Aston Villa. And overall, times you lose and times you draw in recent time, other than that Man City terrible performance, you have always looked close in every single game, like close of getting a draw or something. So West Ham, I think you can finally get a draw. Brighton in recent time, they've only got 2 points as well. So I think this is a good time for Brighton to get back and get some points, and West Ham to get some points. West Ham are home, so that's why I feel like Brighton won't win. Home advantage is a very big advantage, so if Brighton was home, I would probably go for Brighton to win. Again, Brighton are missing the likes of Belieber, which is a crucial midfielder. So I'm going 2-2 with a Desmond Tutu. 7-0 to West Ham. Okay, Random Generator. I don't know what's going on with that bizarre scoreline, but that is random.
Open end-to-end football, both teams trade chances, and it finishes 2-2 in an entertaining back and forth game.
Biggest game of the week, the Gunners versus Aston Villa. Title race indeed. 100%. I feel like both teams have had very close games. Like Aston Villa could have easily lost versus Chelsea. It was a close game. On paper, I would say Arsenal are better, player for player. Both teams do have their injuries. Both teams have amazing goalkeepers, Martinez and David Raya. I had this 1-1, but there's just something in me that at the start of the season, I said Arsenal are going to win the league title. So I'm going to have to back that up. I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal. They are home Arsenal, but also I do feel like Aston Villa, yes, they did do well to beat Chelsea, which I was surprised they managed to beat them away from home. But still, they didn't dominate the entire game, and it could have easily went differently. Like, in my opinion, it probably deserved to be at least a draw in that game. Like against West Ham, I felt like Aston Villa at times wasn't playing their best when they won 3-2 versus West Ham. So I feel like there are hints in every little game that Aston Villa are gonna slip up soon. And if they are gonna slip up against a team, it's gonna be against a title challenging side. Who can I say? Arsenal are above them in the table. So I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. Home advantage, it's marginally. 2-0 to Arsenal, says the Random Generator. Yeah, could happen.
High quality game. Villa pushed them hard, but Arsenal just get it done. 2-1 in a tight game decided by fine margins.
ChatGPT, you have copied literally every single one of my predictions. What? Bang on the same. That is bizarre. Now we move to Old Trafford. Manchester United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's the same thing over and over with Wolverhampton Wanderers, isn't it? Wolves, when are you gonna blimmin' get points? 2 points in 18 games. And I don't see you getting any points in this game. Anytime I've kind of gone for you to get a point, predict for you to get a draw, it's never happened. I'm going for you to lose. Man United have already proved they can absolutely batter Wolves. They battered Wolves in the reverse fixture 4-0. So I don't see why Man United can't win this 1-0. I am going for a very close game because Wolves are getting very close to getting their first point in a long time. In the last game against Liverpool, they were knocking at the door and it was a close game. Against Arsenal, late drama made it so they couldn't get a point. Wolves are coming very close to a point, but it's not good enough. Man United are just better than Wolves, and Wolves are doing terrible. 2 points in 18 games. 2-0 to Manchester United, says the Random Generator. Yep.
United dominate possession, Wolves sit deep, and United seed out 2-0 in a controlled professional performance.
Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park against Fulham. This is a mid-table clash. This is a mid-table derby, a London derby. It's going to be a draw. Both teams, to be fair, are struggling to score. I know Fulham have scored, but they only scored 1. Crystal Palace couldn't score, even though it had so many shots. Even though defensively they look good as well. Against Tottenham, they still lost 1-0. They still couldn't score. So I'm going for another 0-0 draw. Like I went 0-0 with Burnley and Everton last week, I'm going 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Fulham. If you think about it, they're both in mid-table. It's a London derby, so both teams are going to be as determined to get points as each other. Crystal Palace are struggling to score. Fulham are struggling to score, so it's going to be low scoring. It seems like a 0-0 all over. Crystal Palace to lose 3-2 to Fulham. Don't think it's going to be that high scoring, Random Generator.
KG London derby, not many clear chances, and it ends 1-1 in a game with very little between the sides.
Liverpool versus Leeds United. Now this game was an entertaining 6-goal thriller last time out, being a 3-3 draw in the reverse fixture at Ellen Road. I did have this 3-2 to Liverpool, but I'm not going to put the results screen on because I kind of want to change my mind from a 3-2 to Liverpool, because Liverpool are back on it in terms of they are actually playing really well. But Leeds United, they haven't lost in a long time, and they're actually playing really good football. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, how many has he scored now? Like 8 goals? Like the last 6 or 7 games, he's scored consistently in every single one. That is phenomenal, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And it's because he's a classic striker poacher. And you need a good poacher sometimes, a good number 9 poacher. He's also good at holding up the ball. And against Sunderland, and not just against Sunderland, they look really fast to react. They were fast in attacking. The movement, and oh my gosh, the goal they scored against Sunderland, passing it, the passing football was like prime Man City passing. Passing it from the back, pass. It looked risky at first, like they could easily lose the ball in their own half. But eventually the passing, the tiki-taka movement, and it went in. It was beautiful football, and Leeds United have been consistently dominating every single game for like the last 5-6 games. Dominating. They are away from home, that's why I don't think they're going to win. And I have seen them dominate against Brentford, thinking they should win it, dominate against Sunderland, thinking they should win it, and they don't win it and they only draw. Because Leeds United are on some fantastic form, because the way they're dominating games makes me feel like this is going to be another high-scoring 2-2 draw. Now, I do feel like Liverpool are going to score a couple of goals because they've got Ekitike in the attack. Leeds United, they've got Dan James, Sean Longstaff, and Joe Rodon actually injured for this game. All 3 players should be in that starting 11 for Leeds. And Sunderland injured Joe Rodon. dirty Sunderland. And Joe Rondon is a crucial defender. So I think Liverpool are going to be able to score a couple of goals without Joe Rondon in that defence. But vice versa, I think Leeds are going to be able to score against Liverpool. Because Liverpool still are leaky defensively. And Leeds just look amazing. 4-2 to Leeds United. Random generator. To be fair, I think it will be high scoring, but it's gonna be hard. 4-2 to Leeds United? I don't think so.
Relentless pressure from Liverpool. Leeds can't cope, and Liverpool cruise 3-0 with complete control throughout.
Over to the Stadium of Light. It is Sunderland versus Manchester City. Manchester City, can you finally end Sunderland's home form record? Man City, they seem to be unstoppable. I know they only scored at the 83rd minute to get the winner versus Nottingham Forest. They made it a close game. They still won. Even though they've got a couple of players out for AFCON, they've still got a fantastic side. A really good side. I feel like this is going to be high scoring. Now, one thing Sunderland has done is against Newcastle, their tactic is to be aggressive early on and tackle and injure a defender. They did it against Newcastle with Dan Burn. They did it against Leeds United with Joe Rodon. And in the second half, still be aggressive and high pressing, but be a bit more passive and defensive. But I don't think that's going to work against Man City. They're going to try that. It's not going to work. And they're going to be too open at the back in the first half. Man City are going to score. And then with Man City's quality, with Shirky being able to make some great passes, it's not going to be enough because he's going to be able to get right through Sunderland's defence. And I think Man City have too much firepower with Shirky, Haaland, Phil Foden. They're going to be able to get some goals, no doubt about it, because they are good at home. But they're going to lose this 4-2. Man City are just too good, way too good for Sunderland. The home record is finally going to be over, surely, against Man City, which have been winning. 2-0 to Manchester City. I could see that happen against Sunderland.
Total City control, wave after wave of attacks, and City win comfortably 4-0 in a one-sided contest.
Over to another London derby. It is Brentford versus Tottenham Hotspur. Obviously, not too long ago, these two teams played. Tottenham won 2-0. Tottenham just beat Crystal Palace 1-0. What? This is the inconsistent Tottenham. Like, when the random generator predicted 1-0, when ChatGPT predicted 1-0 to Tottenham, I was thinking, surely not. That will be the most inconsistent thing Tottenham could do. But yeah, it happened. ChatGPT and the random generator got that prediction bang on. I was wrong going 2 on Crystal Palace. Tottenham, to be fair, it could have easily been a win to Crystal Palace, but I suppose you managed to get a clean sheet. And to be fair, at one point you hit the post as well, so you could have extended that lead against Crystal Palace. But well done on your win. I'm going 2-1 Tottenham. I was surprised you managed to win against Crystal Palace. Overall, on paper, I still feel like you're better than Brentford. Don't tell me how Brentford are in 8th, but look at it. They're only 6 points away from, 4 points away from 15th Bournemouth. There's only 7 points separating 15th and 5th. So Brentford could still be in a relegation battle. Because even though they looked good against Bournemouth, even though the attack still looked good, I felt like it was more Bournemouth being terrible than Brentford being good. Before the easy win against Wolves, before the win against Bournemouth, I don't think they were playing well, Brentford. So I think Tottenham have got this one in the bag. Surely they can find a bit of consistency and win this. I just think they've got more firepower than Brentford. And they've already proved they can beat Brentford, as they did comfortably 2-0 last time out. And that wasn't too long ago. 5-1 to Tottenham Hotspur against Brentford. Random generator. That's definitely a bit of a random scoreline.
Opening chaotic, goals both ways, and it finishes 2-2 in a fast-paced end-to-end game.
My goal of the week, I'm giving it to Leeds, that goal. Hopefully you had a Merry Christmas, and hopefully you're going to have a fantastic New Year going into New Year. Toodaloo.